Okay, so this is the contents of the accessory case, the smaller case. This is the jib extension handles, and this assembly here is the leveling head that keeps the gimbal level. So the gimbal goes onto this plate. This one's for the Ronin, or a Ronin MX is the one we gave you. We're going to slide this assembly across these rods and just tighten it down with the claw facing out. Okay, we're just going to tighten these. Same thing over here. So it's symmetrical. And now we can grab it with this. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the clamp on the crossbar. Okay, and this now expands that in and out this way. If I loosen the first section here, oh, this is the wrong one. Okay. Now I can mate these up. So I have them both loose, so I can slide this, just kind of wiggle it in place, tighten that lever down, and over here I'm going to close it up a little bit, slide this out, put this one in place. And once this is in, you want to have a few inches here so it doesn't interfere with this bar swinging. And now this bar can move without bumping into the clamps. So we only collapse it all the way when you're packing the rig up. And now I can close this clamp, and now we can tighten up these handles. And you want to give these, you just straighten them out so they're whatever angle you want them, usually straight down. And you just got to give it a lot of elbow grease here to keep it from slipping. Make these tight, and the same thing over here. Okay. One thing I do at the end is I'll just make it level this way because there's a little bit of rotational play, and then you can close that again. And this is the complete assembly for the jib setup. This part is the balancing station. So what I'm going to do is open these rods up. It comes packed like this. You'll see there's grooves in here, and it rotates inside these grooves. Let me show you the other side. You loosen this knob here. It slides out of one recess at 90 degrees, and it goes 90 into this recess, and now it tightens up. Okay? Now that we have our V, I'm going to put these on. And these, so the cups are on facing the inside. The lever is sort of toward the outside. Okay, and I'm going to tighten this. Do the same thing on the other side. Put the cup, the cradle on the inside. Call these cradles. And now I'm going to just rotate these out. So the knob is facing out. And we'll fine-tune this once we put it onto the stand, but this is the basic setup. And you don't have to take these off each time. You can also fold these down with these on it for transport. So now everything is set up the way it's supposed to be from the case. All right, so now we have our assembled balancing station. This is just a generic stand. It's a C-stand. It works with any 5/8" stud, which is pretty universal. I'm going to lock this down. You'll notice down here I'm facing it into the leg of a C-stand if you have that option, or just the leg of the stand. Sandbag's always a good idea. And now we're taking this assembled section, and I'm going to place these bearing housings into these cradles. So right now I'm going to loosen it to maximize it. And the other thing we can do is I can loosen these just so the distance is set properly. Okay, now it's locked near the flange here. It's in the flange on this side, and now I'm tightening these repositioning levers so the distance is set. So when I pick it on and off, it lands, and I should also tighten these up too. So now that they're faced the right orientation, I could lock these off. And now it just sets down. It's like landing a helicopter right into the cups. Okay? Here, we're taking an additional clamp. This came in your kit. And this one can go over the remaining section on the stud. And I'm going to tighten that down. Okay? And one thing you can do here is now we can lengthen this a little more. And you can either use this section or you can use the thicker section, which is over here, and pull it back. Sometimes you gotta, here we go. And just lengthen it so it rests in there. Okay, I'm gonna lock these up again. Okay, this bar also can move. So once you establish a handle length that you like, you can also position the bar on these two set screws here, on these screws, to find itself in the cradle. Okay? Ultimately, this is what you're operating, and you'll be setting the length to your arms. And that's how the balancing station works for the jib. We're also putting, just like on the handles, we're putting our latex tubes with the bead in these receivers here, and that's where we get our lift for the jib.